welcome to the City Show here on Live 365 on GGR Radio. I'm Pat O'Meara. I'm your host. As I always say, tell your friends, download the Live 365 app. I keep pressing those buttons. Download the Live 365 app. If you're listening, you already did that. Tell your friends, tell your mom's friends, tell your buddies, tell your people at work. There's a lot of programming on Live 365, a lot more than just, my stuff. It's all free. And then you can listen to our programming here. And, of course, all our programming is iCarved. I can't get the word out. We store it all on YouTube on their on that site, so you can go and visit all the shows that we have produced over the years, audio on GGR on YouTube. And, of course, all the Hudson Media and Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment. They're all listed there on YouTube, so you can go watch it there. But again, download the app. This way, you know what we're doing. You can listen to us all the time and enjoy the shows. And when I come back, we're going to talk about good weather today. We're going to talk about Solomon's We're Broke tour. We're going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about bridges, Hoboken. We got a lot of things we're going to talk about. But right now, we're going to break for commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate controlled facility equipped with state of the art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201 867 2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
I'm back. Pat O'Melia here. City Show on GGR. Finally, we have some good weather. Before I start, it's very difficult. I do this show solo here by myself. I don't have any assistance like we do in the studio. I'm doing this from the house right now, as I'm still recovering. I'm constantly recovering. My left knee's starting to feel better. Hopefully, I'm going to back to see the orthopedic in like 6 weeks. I had a fall and damaged my replaced left knee. But it's starting to feel better. So hopefully, I don't have to have any more surgery. We tore the tendons and the ligaments, rather. We dislocated the kneecap. And I do need to get my right knee replaced. Now the right knee is becoming an issue. I mean, quite a bit of an issue. So I may have to do that sooner than I hoped for. So I'm still kind of recuperating. I'm trying to do like 2 to 3 days a week at the studio. It's very difficult for me to drive right now because keep my leg bent in one position for like more than 10 minutes. And what are you going to do when you're in a car? You're driving along. So I'm doing this stuff by myself, engineering the show. And that's very difficult. It's like a three-handed show then. You're hitting the wrong buttons. You're trying to make sure you're on the air and all that. And you're timing when to start recording. It's very difficult. But I am looking for people who was interested in hosting. I've been talking to some weed dispensaries, talking to Tunnels to Towers, trying to figure out how I can put a Tunnel to Tower show together. I've been talking to the WWE. I started in pro wrestling back in the 90s. That's how I started in the media. We're talking to an ammo, Tom's River Armory, where you can get all your firearms and ammo and accessory needs. Also, these guys also repair my cars. I got 2 repair places. I got CNC in Tom's River when I'm down in Tom's River. And I got Juan, Auto Repairs by Juan, and Patterson Plank Road in North Bergen, just passing the basics. And Pat and Chris, they branched out. They got their own gun shop there. So they'll be doing a show. And we're starting to build, North Bergen is going to start doing some town halls. Jersey City is going to do it. For that matter, I was talking to Hugo Cabrera, he's one of the commissioners in North Bergen. He's going to do a Spanish language show. So we're like really a year behind where I want to be with this radio show, but we're getting there. Little by little, I'm getting there. If you know anybody that's interested in hosting a show, I spoke to the Conservancy, the Historic Conservancy in Jersey City. They might start doing one. We got a lot of things going. But let's get a show going that we're talking about right now. We're doing a city show. Finally, we got some decent weather. I mean, it was like almost 70 degrees outside today. Goodbye, snow. Very little snow. For that matter, Jersey City is... They must have some long-range weather predicting. They knew the weather was going to be good today. Let's start street sweeping again. So the street sweepers were running again today. There's still some snow on my block, but probably not enough to hold off the street sweepers. Where you piled it up big is where we got a problem. There's mountains of snow. So, in the future, we got to come up with a better way. And Solomon's all about making things easier and doing a better way. Years ago, when we had snow, we would pick it up and we would bring it down to Dogpatch, Jersey City, where I'm from, and we would pile it up there, and it would eventually melt. Prior to that, we used to just dump it in the Hackensack River right off the barge pier. But again, the environmentalists, well, you can't do that. Where do you think the snow's going when it melts? It's going to go down the sewers. In New York City, they got these hot tubs where they melt the snow, and it runs right into the sewers. So you might as well just cut out the middleman. Just dump it in the Hackensack River, or we just pile it up again down at the foot of St. Paul's Avenue, and it would just melt on its own there. And down where public service was, where I was a kid, there were all sorts of fuel storage tanks down there. It used to have a huge natural gas tank. And people don't realize that natural gas tank went up and down depending on how much natural gas was in there. But there was at least 100 storage tanks. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe 75 storage tanks in the big. But all those are gone now. It's just big open space there. Probably big open contaminated space. But space nonetheless. For that matter, one of the places I'm talking to Mayor Solomon about putting our own trash department. We'll pick up our own trash, maintain our own equipment, that sort of thing. And I told him we should get in touch with PSNG, see what kind of deal we can make down there. But snow is hopefully gone. They say there's 2 more possible snow events in March, and it has snowed before in March, and it's going to get cold again, so there's possibility. Yeah, I got my I only got a little 4-wheel drive, my Kia, my 1998 Kia. It's what we call the lifeboat. I use it often, but it is my winter car. If it's snow, the little Kia is the car. It has bailed me out many, many times. But I want to get some work done on some. We had a lot of problem getting somebody to do good rust work. You know, for years and years, I had my own shop. I used to buy, sell, and repair tractor trailer. Yeah. You talk to some of these shops today, they just want to replace parts. They don't want to fix things. The rust work on the Kia isn't that major. You know, if I had my own shop again, it wouldn't be an issue. We would just do the sheet metal work ourselves. Well, we finally found a shop. I want to get the rust work taken care of on it, and I'm going to put another coat of paint on it. But now I'm going to stop again and talk to the body shop because I'm looking at my 4 doors, or 3 of the 4 doors. One door I'm going to replace because somebody hit my fender on my door and didn't leave a name or anything. 3 of the 4 doors look pretty good. 2 of the fenders look pretty good. Well, one of the fenders I'm going to replace, but the left side fender looks pretty good paint-wise. And I said, maybe I don't have to paint the whole car. I have to paint the roof. I got to paint the hood. So have a little conversation with the shop. But I want to get the car all fixed up, get it detailed, got a good detail shop, and maybe put a new radio in it. The radio in there is pretty old, and the speakers are kind of blown. But these are all my plans for cars I got to fix. And I want to put the car in the shop, but I'm going to wait until we get past these possible 2 snow events. But I don't have any other 4-wheel drive cars. But finally, it's warm. The snow will be gone. And if it does snow, maybe it kicks around for a couple of days, but eventually spring is coming. Yeah, pitchers and catchers are reported. They're playing spring training games now. Giants have been very busy today. Jets have made a few trades. The Giants made a few. Giants are getting everybody from the Ravens. Yeah, everybody's talking about John Harbaugh as a great coach. Yeah, he got 1 Super Bowl ring with Joe Flacco was the quarterback, and that was, 14 years ago. Yeah, he lost a lot of big games. Well, listen, I'm a Giant fan. I wish him success. I just don't know if he's the guy. And you know how we are in New York. I think the owner of the New York Giants once said, I think told Diebold, our ex-coach, you can go from Bono to Bozo real fast in New York, and that's true. I think Mara, there was Mara said that. Now, I always think Wellington Mara, the original owner, who passed on. But he had told Brian Daboll that after he won Coach of the Year, you can go from Bono to Bozo real fast, and that did happen. We'll see what happens in a year or two, how Harbaugh does. I wanted John Gruden there. Well, let's get to things here first. Let me stay in order. Let's get with Iran first. I did add the bottom of my posting. It's been a little more a week. The attack on Iran is still going on. It is kind of 50-50. It depends. You can't go with these surveys anymore, or these polls, or these, especially with the media, and the main with the legacy media, main media. Yeah, I watch all the news shows. I watch CNN. I watch MS. I watch Channel 7. I watch Channel 2. I watch Fox. I like Channel 7. I watch PIX in the morning. A lot of these networks are really getting slanted on this. And Twitter, forget about it. They keep posting these pictures of attacks that are like from 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, or a few years ago. So, look what's happened to Israel now. Yeah, it's really hard to get honest information. And I know some heads are going to explode right now when I say this. The only news that I think is kind of down the middle, and at least is giving me live shots and all, is Fox. I think Fox is the one that's giving me the information on what's happening in Iran, legitimate information. The rest of these are really getting slanted. I come from an era, I'm from an age where I remember Iran. I'm in favor of what's going on in Iran. Put it this way. I remember the 444 days of the hostages. I remember the attacks on the coal and all the other terrorist attacks and how they funded Iran, what they funded. Now, I know they were damn well involved in 9/11. We owe them. And if they had ever gotten a nuclear power, they got a nuclear weapon, they probably couldn't reach us with their missiles. But our bases in the Middle East, Israel, our allies there, the Saudi Arabia, they were in the crosshairs. You had to take these people out. And, when you got a country that constantly yells death to America, what are you waiting? What are you waiting for? You waiting for the nuclear attack? You're going to let them? We've mishandled Iran for years and years and years. There were two presidents that stood up to Iran. That was Reagan, and I think I said last week, the minute Reagan's hand came off that Bible, they were releasing those hostages because they knew Reagan was going to do pretty much what Trump just did. It was not going to fool around. Barack Obama tried to pay him off plane loads of cash. Biden tried to appease him. There was no appeasing these. This had to happen, in my opinion. But again, I am of the age where I remember those hostages. And I remember the attacks on the Cole. And I remember 9/11 and every other terrorist attack. Now, there were some knuckleheads in New York City with improvised explosives where there's some sort of like a plastic explosive, the mother of Satan explosive. They had nuts and bolts in there. Fortunately, none of those detonated. Yeah, there probably are some sleeper cells in the United States. We let everybody in. Yeah, we keep going. Not just the Mexicans that came in there. Everybody was coming in. We were getting them from China, Middle East, all over the place. And we don't know who the hell is here. And now we got these possible sleeper cells, possible terrorists. But we'll have to be on guard for that. And it's like we used to say after 9/11, you see something, say something. Really, right now, you see something, say something. But again, I'm in favor of what's happening there. And I don't think it's going to be a long, drawn-out one. I'm surprised things haven't come to an end yet. But give it another week or so. Eventually the B-1 bombers are going to go over there. And things really get hopping. Hopefully, cooler heads in Iran. And the citizens of Iran, the government killed reportedly 35,000 who were protesting last month. So maybe it's time, maybe the people there itself see it's time for regime change. But I'm in favor. I'm going to work it. You can't let this country get nuclear powered. Like even the guy in Korea, Kim there, his technology can't reach us, but it could reach our allies in Japan and elsewhere. We're pretty safe from there. But I'm sure this guy's looking at what's happening there and saying, in Iran and saying, "Ooh, man, they got go on vacation for a little while." But one of the sad things, fuel has jumped up. Now I said last week it went up 20%, 20 cents a gallon. Now it just went up like another 30 cents a gallon. But that's short term. Listen, nobody complains more about the price of fuel than me. That's short term. If the United States, I think Trump was saying today he may take over the Straits of Hormuz there to ensure the passage of oil and commerce going through the straits. You put a few of our destroyers out there, there are no drones are going to get near anybody. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So I'm sure that's what the United States will do, open up the straits. And I think today the price of oil per barrel came down today. So there's changes. The stock market had a great day. So everybody's getting back on their feet. Hopefully the price of gas comes down. I do a lot of driving. So, and also I only use high test. I know people say, what are you wasting? I'm going to tell you something. Now, my V8 engine's got to have the high test. The Lincoln, the 2007 Lincoln, my 2000 E250 van, both big Ford engines, they have to have it. I got a 1995 Olds Cutlass with a 3100 6-cylinder in it. Good engine. I run high test in there. But even in my little cars, like the Kia I talked about before, a little four-banger, 1998 Kia. It's got 170,000 miles. As soon as I tell people I got 170,000 miles on that 1998 Kia, they're like, wow, really? I took care of that car. I always take care of it. I always change the oil constantly. I'm always making sure she's up to date on anything she needs, fluid-wise, belt-wise, filter-wise. Those cars usually don't last that long. And I got two Chevy Avos. I got a 2004 Chevy Avo and a 2008 Chevy Avo. And they're both good little cars if you take care of them. You got to stay on top of them, especially fluid-wise. Yeah, if it starts making weird sounds, take care of that. And for that matter, my 2008 makes a weird noise at about 80 miles an hour. Problem is, it only makes it between like 70 and 80 miles an hour. Hard to find the noise when you're in the shop. It makes it between 70 and 80 miles an hour. And it kind of like moves around. Yeah, you can hear it under the hood there somewhere, but you don't feel it in the wheel. You don't feel it in the engine. but it's making that noise. I'm starting to think maybe it's a transaxle. Maybe I changed them. I'm not sure yet, but it runs fine. And as soon as I drop it down like 65, the noise goes away. But if I'll bring it to Juan or Pat and Chris at CNC, that makes this noise at 70, 80 miles an hour. And they're like, well, how are we going to get it make that noise at 70, 80 miles an hour in the shop on the lift? But yeah, I always use high test. And I swear, I know people say you waste some money. My cars run pretty damn good running on high test. And plus, I put the fuel at it. I put the Trion, I think of the name of it. It's an additive that keeps your lifters and the inside of the engine clean. Trifoam, something like that. Chevron makes it, and it's one of the best fuel additives you can get. I put that in my cars. I never put those fuel additives. I said, well, it treats up to 20 gallons. Never put it in with 20 gallons. Always put it in with about 10 gallons. You want it to heavy concentration to get through there and get all that carbon out of your engine. All right, we did enough car stuff, right? Okay. All right, there's James Solomon in Jersey City. Started his We're Broke tour, the 6th Ward We're Broke tour, where he's going over budget, the budget situation with $250 million in a hole. Solomon's hell-bent on affordability, and we're all looking for affordability. But it's more than just Fulop involved. Solomon has 12 years of Fulop. Actually, 12 years plus 2 terms as a councilman. That's 20 years of Fulop. So forgive me if I drop his name off it. There's more to affordability than just Jersey City, but it's got to start at home. You got to hope the state comes along with it. You got to hope like the price of gas comes down because that affects everything, fuel. Every delivery, all your food, everything. The price of eggs, everything's going to go up with fuel. For the energy that runs these plants and businesses. I'm still waiting for Solomon to explain how we're going to cut these expenses because he's looking for $100 million from the state of New Jersey. Well, so is everybody else. Every municipality has a problem right now. A lot has to do. I'm going to talk about this later in the show about health benefits and insurances for the municipalities and the schools and all. This is becoming a real problem. And you know what your school budget looks like in Jersey City. You're at $1 billion plus. And it's a third of your, it's a major, it's a third of your tax bill, but it's the highest percentage of your tax bill. Some of the stuff is going to be out of Solomon's hands. Now, as far as 100 million distressed city, I don't know. Now, you look at Hoboken. These new mayors come in, whatever Fulop did, juggling and keeping all the balls in the air or kicking it down the road, whatever you want to call it, it eventually comes back to bite you. Well, I don't know how bad it was with Steve Fulop as the mayor. One of these days, I'll sit down, or John Heinous will sit down, and you're going to need about an hour to interview him as to what the hell happened. And I warned Solomon and any mayor, when you come in, you're elected, you get behind the mayor's desk and you open the drawer, there are a lot of demons in there, and they're going to come jumping out. And around 250 million of them jumped out of the desk drawer when Solomon opened it. As far as the state, it would be great. But you're still 150 million in the hole, and the state's going to be calling all the shots in Jersey City, which is a pro and a con for a mayor themselves, because there isn't a lot of mayor can do then. Because everybody's grabbing the mayor. Everybody wants something from the mayor. Not many people go to the mayor with solutions. I've always gone to, when I go to City Hall, here's a problem, I'm bringing the solution with me. But everybody usually has their hand out. They need something. And the good thing, I'll leave the mayor nameless, who said the good thing about being on state control, I couldn't do anything. There's no jobs. There was none of this I can do. And everything had to go through the state. Even with the school board, even when the state was running our schools, there was a mayor who said, I'd rather it just stay that way so I don't have to be bothered with it. But it didn't stay that way. And now your taxes went zooming up. But Solomon's got to turn around and figure out exactly how we're going to cut some expenses. How are you going to reduce the budget? Affordability, and when the budget keeps going up every year, you ain't got no affordability. So we got to bring the budget down. How do you do that? I'm not sure. We're going to have to look at ways to increase revenue without dipping into your pocket. You don't want to dig into your pocket. We don't want to dip into your pocket. So there's other ways you got to look at it and figure out ways we can generate revenue. It's not going to be one big bite. It's going to have to, you're going to take some small bites. You chew here and there. Where you can get, can you generate a few million here, a few million there, and those few millions start to add up. And then you have to look at the city itself. What can you cut? What can you do in house? Can we do more in-house with our organizations? DPW, can we do more in-house DPW instead of, like I said a couple weeks ago, we're out there paving roads. We're writing a check for $14 million, $16 million. Easy to write a check with somebody else's money. Should we be doing that ourselves? Something we need to look into. Like the garbage contract. We're going to lay out 15 over 16 million. And this isn't just the 60 million you lay it out. It's an awful service. But I'm at it. Get the car out of the front of the house. Jared said, get it in front of the house, pull it out. And I'm looking at the spot, and there's garbage all over the place. We even dug a spot for the garbage cans. So you go and get the garbage cans off the street. Garbage all over the back of my car. All garbage in the street. How the F do you miss the back of a friggin' garbage truck? I said that. How do you do that? How do you miss the back of this thing? It's 8 feet wide. But they do it all the time. Crap it all over the street. That's why I'm glad we're street sweeping now. And that 1 day a week street sweeping, that's got to stop. That was foolish. One of the ATM machines, and listen, nobody pays more tickets than me. I know I've done the television shows where I showed all the tickets I paid. Yes, we need it twice a week. We need strong parking enforcement. Not what we're doing now. We're way down. We're not talking about a few million. We're way down, millions and millions of dollars wise with the Jersey City parking enforcement. That has to be looked at to get those revenue numbers up. Probably shouldn't be a department. Should be an autonomous agency. The garbage, getting back to that. Yeah. We may spend, I got to finish my numbers and send them over to Solomon to get the numbers for new garbage trucks. I have a background in that kind of stuff with type of mechanics and garbage trucks and equipment we'll need to do the garbage ourselves. A land figure I don't need, so I got to talk to Solomon and see if he spoke to anybody on that. But yeah, we could do our own garbage, and we'll probably come in somewhere around 12 to 14 million a year. But that we're putting a whole crew together. We're buying trucks. We got a shop. We got equipment. You can reach out and touch it. We're still going to pick up your garbage. City will do it. But that money, that we'll probably have to bond for. Instead of writing a check and it goes out of the city and you got nothing to show for it, instead of all the garbage dropped outside your house, at least this way, you could go down, wherever we put this trash department, you can go down and touch the trucks. And you can see the people working. You can see the shop. You could see the land. You could see the mobile service units. You could see the welders and the diesel mechanic and the hydraulic mechanic and the tire guy. You could see all that. And yeah, we're paying for it. We're still going to spend, but we're going to have an asset for it. Then each year, it'll be less of a cost because we've capitalized those garbage trucks. We're paying off the building. We're paying off the land. Somewhere down the line. Yeah, we're saving money right off the bat. We'll save a lot of money. But things have to be done in-house. But you have to have the will to do it in-house. You got to have the right people to do it in-house. I'm too old to go and run the department like that. If this was 20-some-odd years ago, I'd go to Solomon, sit down and say, all right, I'll run it. But I'm not that guy. I'm too old for that. You need a different Pat. You need a younger guy who's got this kind of experience, somebody who knows welding and hydraulic mechanics and diesel mechanics and the logistics of picking this up. But even with my experience, I would still go and get a guy from the trash industry. Either you could be a consultant, as a consultant, I guess, but we want somebody who knows the ins and outs. But yeah, we can do that. But that's just one of the things we can do in-house. We could do some shared services. These things have to be done, but they have to be managed. And that we don't. We got away from management. We got away from that and writing checks. That's what we did. Instead of managing a crew and a staff, we got into just writing checks. And that's how we got to the situation we're in now, where everything is farmed out. And that's what we don't need to do. We're not saving no money farming everything out. Where am I going next? Like I said, Hoboken. Hoboken's looking at a 20% tax increase. You know, Emily got in there, new mayor, and opened that desk drawer, and them demons jumped out of there again. Now, they're in the hole, but they're not the size of Jersey City. It's a mile-square town. Jersey City is, 12 square miles? You know, big difference in population and all. But relatively, you know, the deficit is huge, Hoboken, as it is in Jersey City. So Emily, I'm sure, will be looking for some money also from the state. But they're looking at a 20% tax hike there. And you know, with the school, that's coming. The county, Craig Guy is looking to try to cut some costs there. He's got some issues with a high-tech high school. I might talk to him about some suggestions there. My studio can help out. But it's things are getting tough. And the problem is, and I respect what Craig Guy is doing, and I respect what Solomon's doing. They don't want to reach into your pocket. Now, the Board of Education in Jersey City, they got no problem reaching into your pocket. And I'll guarantee you, when that budget comes out, it's going to be impressive on how much money they're going to want. All right, let's break for commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
I'm back. Pat O'Melia here, City Show on GGR. And we're talking about things in the city. We're just finishing with Solomon and his 6th Ward We're Broke tour. I was explaining the budget and I guess how we got into this situation. Ideally, you should probably just come into the studio and do the whole thing on the radio here. It's toll free. We could set it up where you can call. People can question Solomon on this and you talk. Set these things up. From what I see in the footage, there was like 20, 25 people there. I know he wants to bring the situation to the masses here in Jersey City, but it's just as easy to do it on the radio. Answer the question. People take the calls. Probably more efficiently done that way. And I was talking before about school employees. Let's jump to expense. School employees, their benefit package is about to cost more. And over the last 10 years, they've been getting hit pretty hard. We've all been getting hit pretty hard. Even if you're on Medicare, your price has gone up. If you're on a private insurance, you're not getting the benefits from the affordability, the Obamacare. You're paying $900 to $1,100 a month. That is absolutely ridiculous. I remember when I had the shop. A married person would cost us maybe $110 a month. Actually, one of the highest single guys, because they were even cheaper, they were like $70 a month. Problem with single guys, they weren't as reliable as married guys, so you wind up hiring a married guy. Somewhere along the line, again, this is Governor Sherrill. She's got to look at this, and the municipalities, we all the entities and the county government's got to look into this and say, we're paying tons of money in insurance rates here. It has to be another way of doing this. The problem with the medical field right now is hospitals were going broke. That's why they're merging up. Eventually, you're going to have two hospital systems in Jersey. You'll have Hackensack Meridian and RWJ Barnabas. You see what's happening with Hudson Regional, but I think it's a lot of that from design for that matter. I got to talk more with Solomon on the eventuality of what Hudson Regional is. The problem we have, and I'm a capitalist guy. It says America is a capitalistic society. There's a reason we're the greatest country in the world, and it's capitalism. Everybody, and you truly can be anything you want to be in this country. If you apply yourself and you get the education, you acquire the skill, the craft, whatever it is, you can do it. You can get close to it. Maybe you can't be the president of the United States. If you're going to be the president of the United States, there's only a few of those do that. But, if you want to be an attorney, you want to be an accountant, you want to be a doctor, you can get there. You have to have the will and the perseverance, and unfortunately, willing to take a lot of debt in education, which is probably another thing we should look at after we figure out insurance. I'm all in favor of companies making money. You go into business. The dream for most people to go into business. Who the hell wants to be the nail? You want to be the hammer. You want to be the person in charge. You want to be the boss. But the insurances are making this very difficult to do that. Even physicians now, they're having a hard time keeping their practices open because of insurances. In their case, litigation insurance. That's why they're hooking up with the RWJ Barnabases of the world, the Hackensack Meridian. But eventually, they start letting some of these guys go. For that matter, I know some doctors whose contracts weren't renewed. For that matter, I make a phone call for one of them. One of the guys happened to be my orthopedic, who's doing actually is my second, well, actually kind of third orthopedic, but let's say it was the second. First guy, he's moving down to Florida. There's no family up here, and his wife is from Florida, and they want to get a little farm. So he's moving down there. So I got another orthopedic that he recommended. The guy was pretty cool with me. So I took his recommendation. I'm talking to the guy about doing the right knee and also the left knee. He goes, let's give it 6 to 8 weeks with your left knee, see how the ligaments do and the kneecap. And also I did a stress test last Friday to make sure, because I had a stent put in there. I want to make sure the heart's okay. I feel okay. But I don't want to take any more of these blood thinners. These blood thinners are wreaking havoc on me. And I haven't taken them since we had the knee surgery. I'm still alive. Guy tells me, but I would probably do something now, but I wouldn't be able to follow up on it because my contract hasn't been renewed yet. And I said, is there a problem? He goes, I don't know. It's the company. They just haven't renewed my contract. If I want to do this right knee, I probably can't do that. I have to see what's in my contract. Unfortunately, I knew his boss. I have some relationships with the medical field. I made a phone call, gave the guy the information. There's like 3,000 doctors under him. Said, you see if you're getting this guy's contract renewed. I don't want to go through another orthopedic. But at this point, I may not stay with the same hospital system then if you keep going through doctors like this. But the problem is there's not a lot of choices anymore. You have the insurance companies themselves who are making buku bucks. The Blue Crosses of the world, the Aetnas of the world, and they're even getting into the pharmacies. Was it Celtic or Aetna who's involved with CVS? They're taking a monopoly over medicine. The pharmaceuticals are doing quite well. The health insurance companies are doing quite well. Your car insurance companies, your rates just went up 20%, and it's always been a thing in Jersey, but New Jersey itself with the car insurance. We have to take a hard look on, especially the healthcare. It's strangling the municipalities. Solomon will tell you now he's paying a ton of this in health. A lot of our deficit is from healthcare. Somewhere along the line, we got to sit down with the insurance company and say, "Listen, I applaud you for making profit, but you don't need to make that much." And I'm not just talking for the school employees and state employees in the county and the municipalities, all along. They are making a ton of money. Pharmaceutical companies, they're making a ton of money. There's that issue when a prescription costs $100 in the United States, and you find out in Europe it's $20. There's a problem. I realize a lot of research and development that goes into medicine, and that has to be covered. But they're making billions with a B. And I don't mind them making billions, provided it's not so much on the back of the employees. In your case, when it becomes a problem for the municipalities and the state and school employees, it becomes part of the budget. And then you start paying for it. So somewhere on the line, somebody's got to sit down and put a committee together, and that's look at insurance. Again, not a communist country here. We're capitalists. But somewhere along the line, how much is too much? That's the question. Somewhere we got to figure out how we bring these costs down. Same thing with car insurance. How is it New Jersey is so much more expensive than these other states? I don't know. When I was a kid, you could get state insurance, $50 a year. You got it from the state of New Jersey. That's gone. Maybe the state's got to become self-insured. I don't know what the answer is. But the answer isn't every year a huge increase in employee health care. Now, school employees pay a percentage. The state and city employees pay a percentage, so do the county. But their percentage is, and the county's percentage, they're all going up. And eventually, it gets to you. So we need to look at that. Your car insurance, your health insurance, that's ridiculous. Now, if people say Medicare for all, I don't know if that's practical. I don't know what their taxes would be like if everybody got Medicare, but that's usually for someone once you get 65 years old, for seniors. Now, it's the only good thing about becoming older, at least you get Medicare. That's not for somebody who's 20. But ridiculous insurance rates isn't for somebody who's 20 some odd years old either. It's so difficult being starting out in life now, as it was, again, of a certain age, where you can't even dream about buying a house in New Jersey. You haven't struggled, just struggling to pay the rent. Forget about buying a house. You can't afford the insurance. You can't afford car insurance. It's insane. So I appreciate what Solomon was talking about affordability, but we all got to pull on the same end of the ropes, many ropes, to figure out how we can get things affordable. Somehow, things just went sideways here. But that is something we need to look into somewhere along the line. You need somebody a lot smarter than me. But when your health insurance companies are making billions, their largest employees in New Jersey, RWJ and Hackensack Meridian, they're making pretty good billions too. And you got the car insurance companies. You don't see any car insurance companies going bankrupt. They're making money. The pharmacies, the pharmaceuticals are making big money. Pharmacies are making good money. And you're paying for it. Somewhere along, we just keep compounding the cost on top from them. Everybody's got to get their cut of that. And that's where this becomes ridiculously expensive. We'd have to go back and look, like I said, when maybe 25, 30 years ago, and figure out, well, it wasn't stifling then, health insurance. What happened? And that's what we need to look at. Is it litigation? I don't know. Research and development of the pharmaceuticals, I know that's expensive. But is it this expensive? All right, helicopters. There's big helicopter traffic over, I'm a Heights guy, over the Heights, over Hoboken, tourism people, listen, you're across the river from New York City. People want to fly over New York City in a helicopter and look down. Occasionally there are some accidents there. But we're not talking about the problem with accidents. We have a helipad in Kearney, and it's been there for quite a while. And people are complaining about the noise from the helicopters. Now, again, I don't see all these helicopters. I leave in the morning, I go to work. I'm in the studio. I don't see them. I don't hear them. And believe me, I'm sensitive to sound because when we're trying to record something, my studio isn't soundproof. So there's helicopters flying over me. Believe me, I know about it. I don't think it's as bad as they say. But if the whole issue is noise, then there are things called mufflers. I don't know. I assume somebody brought this up to the people who are running the helicopters. Can you put some mufflers on there? Now, I'm a car guy. You can make a vet silent almost. You can turn a switch and make that vet noisy. No matter how you want to muffle it. The more you muffle it, you do lose horsepower. But, it makes it drivable. Some of these guys, the popping exhaust pipe, that's your timing is all advanced. I don't know why they want that. But when I was a kid, we'd have the thrush mufflers. They were on the loud side, but not as loud as they have today. I'm sure if we spoke to the helicopter operators, and I would think they would have the answer to this, can you put mufflers on these to make them quieter? As far as, do I want to do away with an entire industry, tourism? No. Sightseeing? I don't think I want to do that. Now, can we make it more pleasant for the people on the ground? Yeah, if we could put some mufflers on there. But I don't want to put these guys out of business. I don't want to put people who have jobs. And I don't know how bad it is. We're filming in Lincoln Park. We're pretty much across from where the heliport is in Kearney. Didn't seem that big of a problem. Maybe it's in the morning. I'm not out there early in the morning. But if it's noise, I think that's something that could be mitigated by installing mufflers on these helicopters. I would think that would be a logical way to get around this. If that is the issue, and everything I've read so far is about the noise. Now, Kearney is looking into kicking the situation over to the Hudson County courts instead of their municipal court, which probably makes sense because Kearney, outside of being the base of the helicopter, they're not the one with the problems. The helicopter taking off and shooting over the Hackensack River, over to Jersey City and over to New York, and flying around New York City for a sightseeing tour. So it probably does make sense. You bring it to a court where they're having the complaints. And the thing what Kearney is trying to do is through zoning. And that kind of comes to spot zoning. Spot zoning isn't going to hold up in a court of law. So we see how that all works out. But if the problem is noise, I'm sure you can put mufflers on these. I know we can put them on high-performance cars. You can put them on motorcycles. A lot of these vehicles do have it, but there's a switch on your dashboard where you can open up and bypass the muffler and just go loud. Like I said, when I was a kid, we had the thrush mufflers, cherry bomb mufflers also, but they weren't loud as what they have out there now. The World Cup is coming to the Meadowlands, and Airbnb is actually offering money to people who want to list their homes in and around the Meadowlands area for rental during the World Cup. Now, you could be making $750. Now, these are the numbers. $750 a night to $10,000 a night. You have to rent your whole house, and it must be a damn pretty good house to go $10,000. But you're going to have a lot of people looking for places to stay. And they just put out a list of areas that they're willing to actually pay you to list your home. Or if you got a vacant apartment, even better. North Bergen's one of them. Jersey City's one of them. Hoboken's in there. West New York. Pretty much all of Hudson County is in there. At least on the boulevard municipalities. I don't recall seeing Kearney in there or Harrison. But anywhere you could stand on a roof and look at MetLife Stadium, they're interested in your house. And, of course, Rutherford, the closer you get. But they're willing to pay you. So you go to Airbnb.com, and they're willing to pay you just to list your home for potential rental. And, we deal with Airbnb in Seaside Heights, and it's a good operation. For that matter, North Bergen, interesting timing there with North Bergen. For that matter, I sent the story to Nick Stacco a couple of days ago that North Bergen was on the list for Airbnb for this World Cup rentals. They just, and it's just happenstance here, they just reworked their short-term rental rules. You can't rent for more than 60 nights a year. Tenants can't re-rent the units on Airbnb, so you can't rent the unit, then flip it and try to rent it. So they streamline a lot of the rules and regulations in North Bergen. I happen to be a believer in Airbnb, especially now. If you're a young couple and you've done all you can, you lived in your mom's basement for 2, 3 years, 4 years, just to save up the money for a down payment. It is so ridiculous, the amount. It isn't so much getting the house. It's just down payment is stifling to come up with 20, 30%. Another thing we should probably look at, how can we get around that? For that matter, I was watching Everybody Loves Raymond, where the father, Frank Barone, still had his real estate license, and he was telling Ray to buy the house across the street. Ray's against it, but his wife is in favor. This is the first season, and there's kind of like a flashback scene how they buy the house. And he's talking about no points, no down payment, balloon payment at the end. He goes, it's like 30 years from now, where will you be 30 years from now? You can handle this. Maybe that's something like we got to look into again, but you don't want to have a situation like in 2008 where the whole freaking housing market fell apart there. But that young couple, if they can make $750 a night, well, hopefully $10,000 a night, all the power to them. But even without the World Cup, if you can get short-term rentals where you're getting $250, $400 a night for that unit, and somebody wants to go to New York City or whatever, let the people do it. Let them try to pay off the mortgage and the high taxes and all. I have a problem. Listen, I agree they shouldn't be 365 days a year Airbnb rentals, but a reasonable amount, especially during the summer months. There has to be a happy medium. And I think Jersey City, we went too far on that. I know down the shore, they kind of went too far. Now they're backing off on it. But if you can help these people raise some money, I'm all in favor of that. All right, let's break for our last commercial of the night. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. I'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
All right, I'm back. Pat O'Melia here with the City Show. We're running out of time. We got what we got here? About 3 minutes. A bridge too narrow. Bayonne, Mikey Sherrill, the governor, has decided to endorse the one bridge solution for Bayonne, 2 lanes on each side, which is exactly what they have now. You're stagnating Bayonne. What you need to do, and you're stagnating all the other municipalities there. You're not looking anywhere down the future here. You need the 2 bridge. You need the multi-lane. And stop it, please. Well, you'll have more capacity, more people will come. Nobody's getting in there effing cars because there's 8 lanes of bridge. Let's go over. No, nobody's getting in their cars because you can get to Jersey City with a wider bridge. No, that's not happening. The idea is getting commerce moving north and south on the New Jersey Turnpike into these towns and out. Everybody forgets about the traffic getting out of the town. They're talking about traffic getting into the town. They never talk about it getting out of the town. The 2-bridge solution is the wise way to go. And I think at the end of the day, there'll be a 2-bridge solution. Speaking of going over bridges, Easy Pass. Easy Pass is going to do it away with the transponder that we have on the on the windshields of our car with the Velcro to a sticker. Now it's probably cheaper for Easy Pass. Will there be a reduction in the charges? No, of course not. But it's probably cheaper. Now, if you happen to break your windshield, you got a problem. Now you got to get another sticker. If you go from car to car like I do, so a lot of times I'll take the Easy Pass and I'll put it. I got, I think, 3 transponders, and there's 6 cars I use. Now, 5 of them I'll take on the Turnpike. Very seldom do I take my Kia on the Turnpike, but I have in the past. If you get a new car, you got a problem. Kind of short-sighted here. I can't move this sticker. This is somewhere I can put it on something, and then I can move the sticker from car to car. But again, broken windshield, new car, you got a problem. They're not thinking ahead here. Maybe that's why they don't want you moving from car to car. All right, listen, we're out of show. Make sure, we're basically out of show. We've got about 30 seconds. Now remember, tell your friends, download the Live 365 app. You've seen it on our Twitter posting. We got a lot of things going up here, provided I can stay relatively healthy. I'll get the radio aspect going on here. For that matter, we're going to talk with some Jersey City council people. They'll be doing shows here. But for right now, we are officially out of show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.